Chinese Baijiu. Should you be drinking this? Let's check out Mianrou Dukang Xing on Whisky Whistle. Happy Lunar New Year, everybody. 新年快乐. 三年快乐 in both Mandarin and Cantonese. Hopefully I got those okay. That's the New Year's greeting for China in Cantonese and Mandarin. To everybody watching in Canada, Happy Lunar New Year. It's the year of the rabbit that started just a few days ago. And I am, in fact, a rabbit. In Korea, it's actually the year of the black rabbit. I think in China, it might be the year of the maybe the water rabbit. I'm not sure. And I'm, in fact, a blue rabbit in the Korean astrology that's related to the Chinese. And it's called Ulmyo. Ulmyo-nyan. That's my year, 1975. Yes. But hey, it's my year, and we're going to kick it off. We kicked it off once with Johnny Walker Blue Label Lunar New Year, Year of the Rabbit, 46%. Please check out that review. And today, oh my God, one of my very first tastes of Baijiu, Chinese white liquor. Essentially, Baijiu translates to white liquor. In Korean, that would be Baekju. Baekju. Now, this is called, I'll say that one more time, Mianrou Dukang Sanxing. There we go. That's a tough one to say. I'm going to check that again.
Mianrou Dukang Sanxing.
Okay. Mianrou Dukang Sanxing. Zhou means liquor at the end. In English, it says Dukang Mianrou 3 Xing. Now, Xing, that X is like a ch in Chinese, so 3 Qing, and 3 in Chinese is san, so sanqing. And I'm sorry, there's probably a little bit of Korean sounds coming out of there because I don't speak Chinese. I'd love to learn, though. Anyway, we're going to get this cracked open. This is 50% ABV. It's not an expensive Baijiu. I have a feeling this is largely for export. I'm not sure. I don't see a lot of reviews from people in China for this particular product. Interestingly, well, we're going to crack it open. We're going to try it out. We'll taste it neat. We'll taste it with a little bit of water as well. I'm going to taste it also in a little mini kind of like Asian style one-shot flavor to see what happens and to see if I'm still living and to talk about it after the fact. But this is going to be very exciting. I do have another Baijiu that I'd like to review sometime, and that is Kwai Chao Mutai. That's kind of like top end of Chinese Baijiu. This is a little bit more accessible. And a little bit about this that I've learned, that I've gleaned. Dukang is the kind of like the grandfather of Chinese white liquor and wine, in fact. So the rice wine, grain wine, it's not really wine, but they call it that. It's really more like a beer. Anyway, so the grain wine is then simply distilled to make the grain liquor. I've seen some places describe this as vodka, and it should not be known as vodka at all. It's much more similar to new make spirit, but beyond that, it's further aged in clay pots. And for Chinese liquor, it goes through lots of different processes, lots of different natural processes like cave aging, a whole host of things. It's so difficult to really get into. But this is known as a strong liquor, the Dukang. But then Mianrou means soft. Soft Dukang, 3-star wine. So the word Ju simply means liquor, irrespective of beer or wine or whatever. Same with Korean language. You have 맥주, that's beer. You have 포도주, that's wine. And then you have, like soju, 양주, that's all the distilled liquors. Anyway, so soft Dukang 3-star wine. 산찡 3-star. Really excited. Now this is actually a sealed container. So when you get this what's in there? When you get this as a gift for Lunar New Year's Day or Lunar New Year's Eve, then that's pretty special to open. And it's got a neat little opening there at the top. And it also has a little holograph and a little QR code on the top there, probably taking you to the family website, the company website. Now, this character, this is Dukang himself, I believe. I guess he had 3 children, and then they kind of did their own separate sort of thing. And then not long ago, basically, they've all merged under one corporation. And the glory is back to Dukang for the production of liquor. Apparently, there were some dark ages there. But let's get this cracked open. How does this even work? Oh, man. Okay, well, I didn't do the best job there, but I've got one more. So, yeah. This sold out super fast here where I am in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And there it is. A nice fancy... Actually, it's really interesting. It's kind of like halfway between glass and porcelain. I guess it's colored glass. The packaging has a very pleasant odor. So, whereas you find that sometimes the packaging for Scotch whiskey or for bourbon, when it's got excessive packaging, it's got a plasticky kind of awful smell. But this is actually fairly pleasant. It's like a fresh ream of paper, a little bit of newsprint, and then also it's got a pleasant fruity aroma to the box. Nothing special about the packaging. It's just cardboard, and then it's got a nice styrofoam little protector at the bottom. Okay, and this has no odor. It's the box, and so I don't know, did they perfume that? And if they did, that's kind of neat because you're invoking more of the senses with that. Now, I'm going to pack this up, and we'll set it down here. This looks like a good spot right over here. Okay. There we go. Let's move these over. I've got my Winnipeg Whiskey Club glass. It's 50% ABV. It was about, like $38, $40 after tax maybe. Just, very interesting packaging. This could not be sold itself in Canada, and that's why it's got to be in the sealed box. There is nothing on there. There's no English whatsoever. So obviously that's why this box has to go with it. That would save them some amount of production cost, and a nice kind of a printed red logo there. That's the Mianrou Dukang. I think that's how that's spoken. And there's the 3 stars. 산찡. Okay, it's got a plastic opener. It's a twist top. Most liquor in Asia is twist top. To be honest, I like it because it's a better seal than cork. Oh, wow. And then when you open it, it's kind of like cracking a New Year's cracker. This thing just explodes. And I think that's a preventative measure to make sure that that's not fabricated. What's the word I'm looking for? Impersonated? Faked? I'm forgetting a word there. And like a lot of other liquors that you'll find, it's got a tamper-proof lid. That really protects the consumer. But let's get into the tasting. We're going to get this poured. Here we go. I'm going to pour myself a very healthy amount. And it's got a very pleasant fruity aroma. Quite a strong aroma for a white liquor when you think about that. And I'm going to pour another one in my wee Glencairn. There we go. Okay, so excellent. Unbelievable. This is so fragrant in a very, very, very positive way. It's really filling the room with a very pleasant, fruity aroma. Green Korean Japanese plums. Umeshu in Japanese. In Korean, what's that called again? I've lost it. It starts with an M. It'll come to me. Oh, such a strong green plum scent. And then it has that supremely intoxicating, very potent, intense smell that travels right up your nostrils, right into your brain. It has the intensity of smelling like a board marker. That type of ethereal quality where it is just so volatile. And even just smelling that, I can already feel something happening here. What else am I smelling here, though? Maesil in Korean, that green plum. But then you've got lots of fresh fruit. You have fresh Asian pears. Very, very ripe ones. Extremely ripe Asian pears. Like you got to eat them now or they're turning into liquor tomorrow. Super intense white grape candy. In Korean, that's called 청포도. 청포도. And I'm sorry that I don't know that word in Japanese or Chinese. 청포도. So there's a candy. It comes the size of a big grape, and it's got a super intense flavor and smell. So that grape, we've got the plum, the green plum liquor. We have that ethereal quality. And some straight up, what do you call that type of candy? It's a hard candy, like stick candy, like peppermint, but not the peppermint. It's the other fruit flavors. And I know it's going to be a very sweet tinged, fruit tinged palate here. So hopefully this is giving you an inkling into what's going on here with the nose. We're going to talk about that ethereal quality in a minute, but let's get into the tasting. I don't know how to say cheers in Chinese. So cheers, everyone. Kanpei. So kanpei. Kanbei. Kanpai in Japanese. And cheers to everybody all over the world. Happy Lunar New Year. Happy Year of the Rabbit. Supremely intense, sweet flavor. Lots of spice. And that ethereal quality is going straight to my head. Meanwhile, the warmth is going right down into the very center of my being. Wow. Nice, long, clean, fruity finish. It's juicy. It's not overly astringent. Very nicely balanced. It's a sour and a sour bitter event with sweetness as the undercurrent. That's really super intense. Candy, lots of candy. I can see why this would be very, very popular for something as special as Lunar New Year's Eve or Lunar New Year Day. Now, ingredients. I think there's some confusion here. This claims we have sorghum and wheat. But from what I read, actually, it's sorghum and rice. And they use the word pure wheat. So if you know what's going on there with the ingredients, please let me know. Is there any wheat in this? If there were, that would make some sense about the intensity of the flavor in a way. And I've never tasted sorghum liquor before. Now, sorghum is a grain. It's not a lesser grain. It's a standard grain, I believe, and you can certainly make whiskey from it. And by the way, when you're drinking this, you're going to get some thickness going on with your saliva, very much like when you're having some candy. Oh, here we go. Okay, water I recognize. Let's see. Sorghum in Chinese is called gaoliang. Gaoliang. Okay, so that is the second ingredient. And then rice, no, wheat. Oh, okay, so it is wheat. Okay, so yes, water, and then the sorghum, and then wheat. And just for the people who are listening,
小麦
xiao mai is wheat in Chinese. What's wheat in Korean again? They have their own word. It's just mil. So mil. So sorghum and wheat along with water. Those are the three ingredients there. Now you might be asking yourself, how can there only be three ingredients, Mark? How is it fermented to produce liquor? And this is the thing. This is the magical thing that happens, well, with any grain. And that especially happens really well with rice, but also with essentially any grain whatsoever. And that is a very natural process. And it's something known as aspergillus. The one that grows on rice is Aspergillus oryzae. I think it's the same thing for other grains. And they call it koji in Japanese. They actually harvest the culture. In Korea, they simply use the fermented grain, and I think in China they also use the fermented grain. So you get a little bit more funkiness with Chinese white liquor, Chinese Baijiu, and also with Korean soju, but a little bit less. That's just a little bit more, let's call it middle of the road. And I think with the Japanese, you'll have a much lighter result as well. I believe. I'll have to test that out. I'd love to have all three of them in a line here. Okay, let's get into that one more time here. Supremely intoxicating nose in a very, very good way. You could sit and smell this and spend a pile of time thinking about what these particular notes are. And I hear that there's a lot of, is it terpenes that occur in this type of natural fermentation without yeast. And they also talk about having a lot of phenolic quality here. And I can see that. This is about as intense in aroma as Isla single malt Scotch whiskey is with its peat. But oh, that fruit and the candy and that sweetness is just so lovely. When you keep it on your palate for a long time, the astringency really builds. The tart and bitter complex really ramps up. However, when you swallow, that fades nicely, and then you're again left with that sweet, nice long finish. And I'm enjoying it, but let's add a little bit of water. And surely adding water will be unorthodox for most drinkers of Chinese Baijiu. But, well, I'm coming from the point of view of a whiskey lover, exploring these exotic, delicious liquors from around the world. And I would do myself an injustice. It would be unjust for me to not to add a bit of water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's about 1 milliliter. And it's really not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but there's going to be something going on there as the new water and the liquor and the alcohol rush to try to balance themselves out. And it's gotten more perfumed. I've got some chrysanthemum and a little bit of jasmine and even some green tea happening. A little bit of fresh, like the smell of brand new Converse Cons. And then in comes that nice green grape, that white green grape coming in again. It's definitely subtler, and you're losing a little bit of that ethereal, out-of-body experience type of smell. But you're gaining more access to the fruit, to the plums, the green Asian plums, to the crisp, huge globe green grapes, along with super ripe Asian pears, as I mentioned. I dare say a little bit of vanilla creeping in as well. Let's check the palate out. That really ramped up the astringency, but along with it, all of these fruit flavors. A little bit of some herbals as well. Some celestial seasonings, licorice spice tea. A little bit of rose hip, something floral happening. And on the finish, though, a little bit sweeter, a little bit more candy-like. And I think I like that candy-like flavor. I think it's definitely worthwhile to try that with water, even though that is unusual as a person from China to add water to your baijiu. You normally drink it the way it's presented. But try it. You might like it. Just make sure your water is great water. Get some good water. something that's a spring water source, or something that's well filtered would also be okay, a little bit more neutral. And the higher mineral content in the water, the softer the result will be as you add it. So be careful adding water that has too much mineral content. Whew, boy, I gotta tell you, I'm really, really enjoying this. Let's get on to the Whisky Whistle Baijiu score for Mianrou Dukang Sanjingzhao. Mianrou Dukang Sanjingzhao. Mianrou Dukang 3-star Baijiu. What is that going to be, folks? It's going to be 88 out of 100. You heard it. 88 out of 100 is the Whisky Whistle Baijiu score for Mianrou Dukang Sanjingzhao. I think that was right. Deserves a Baijiu hug. And a nice little Baijiu kiss, even though that is contrary to Asian culture. Mwah. Oh, excellent. Really enjoyable. And just follow my reasoning here. It's $40. It's 50% ABV. It's all natural. It's super flavorful. It is super exotic. Why have you not bought some Baijiu before like this? Never mind the Kwai Cha Mutai, which is quite expensive. But boy, this is very, very nice and really, really enjoyable. So I guess there's only one thing left to do. Before I do that, make sure you subscribe to Whisky Whistle. Hit the bell, ding ding, so you're notified of future Whisky Whistles. And hey, if you're enjoying a lot of Whisky Whistle content, why not support the channel and jump in on Patreon? Join the Whisky Whistle crew. Become a crewmate. You'll get your name in the credits at the end of each video. You'll get advanced viewing and advanced notice of live streams, advanced viewing of future videos. You'll get a Whisky Whistle Glencairn glass beyond a certain threshold, and eventually t-shirts are coming. Anyway, so check that out, all right? That was patreon.com/Whisky Whistle. Okay, so the last thing to do is to try, well, a nice shot of Baijiu, probably like they do in China, along with many other Eastern countries, whether it's Russia, whether it's China, whether it's Japan, Korea. There's a lot of knocking back going on. And let's see if I stand, if I can keep standing after that, if I'm able to stand, if I'm able to talk. Am I going to just fall apart here? Let's see. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Happy 2023. Happy Year of the Rabbit. Cheers. Whoops. Well, here's the thing. This liquor is beyond the point. It is not a rough spirit. It's very well made. And you can do that. You're going to be fine. However, I'd advise against going down like that with your Baijiu. Take your time. Enjoy a couple of glasses over a couple of hours with some friends. Try adding a little bit of water. Slow down your consumption. Be kind to your body. Be kind to your liver, all right? New Year's Eve, one shot like that, for sure. Have some fun. If that's the way you and your friends want to ring it in, just be safe and make sure that you have someone driving you if you're not at home. And lots of pillows and sleeping bags if your friends are going to stay over. All right? Be healthy, be smart, be wise. Have a great, lucky 2023 with me. Again, my name is Mark. I'm so glad that you were here. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, then throw up a comment, hit the like button, and share this. Let your friends know. And, well, then I'll make a decision of whether or not I should pull up that Kwai Cha Mutai. and other exotic liquors on the channel, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.